The first thing that we are going to do is just do a general Mailchimp introduction. You know, what is Mailchimp? Why is it good? Why should you be using it? We're going to talk about the free plan and the functionalities that you get with that versus what you won't have with a paid plan. How to create a campaign in real time. I will open up Mailchimp and show you a very quick basic email. You will likely still have questions. And I'm happy to have one-on-one time with each and every one of you to kind of talk through those if you have them. And then we'll have some closing remarks and next steps. So let's get started. Mailchimp, what is it? They call themselves an all-in-one integrated marketing platform for small businesses. It's basically just a really useful emailing platform that that's what I use to send emails, like the content package that I send on Wednesdays, or Meredith's weekly wrap up. I help her distribute that to her email list on Fridays. This is different than NGP Van. That is more of a complex database that you can also run numbers in. It's also much, much more expensive. We use that at the party, but only for specific things. And then we use Mailchimp for everything else. It's really good to use because it is user-friendly. At first, you might think it is a little clunky. I thought so at first, but then once I had a walkthrough, it made so much more sense. And that's what I'm hoping to do for you all today. It is free. It allows you to organize your content, your contacts, and gives you access to several pre-made templates. There's a couple that you would have to pay for, but you shouldn't ever have to use those. There's so many good free options that we are going to cover today. How to build your email audience. In my last training for digital tools and social media, I talked a little bit about this, especially for precincts, that have just organized, and you receive the content package from me on Wednesdays, but what do you do with it? How do you get this information out to people in a timely and really effective way? Reach out to your county chair. All of your contacts in Vote Builder are free to you as long as your county chair agrees to give it to you. Most of them do, but that's a really good place to get emails to build your email list. If you create events and mobilize, all of the signups of those emails are emails that legally are yours. You can export them in a document and upload them to Mailchimp. So that's a good way. If you have questions about mobilize, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to set you guys up. It's free to county parties, possibly precincts, but your county could promote precinct level events. And then also in Mailchimp, you can create a sign up form that's online and distribute that link in all of your social and comms posts to have people sign up. Those are just 3 ways, but there's a million ways. All right, free plan benefits and drawbacks. So what do you get out of a free plan? The number of contacts you're allowed to have are 2,000, and a contact is just one individual. There are different things like subscribed contacts, unsubscribed contacts, and non-subscribed. Those all count towards your contact count. So it's important to keep looking at your contacts, and if people have unsubscribed, you should delete them just so it does. If you're close to 2,000, at least you should monitor this. If anyone is archived, cleaned, or deleted, that does not count towards the price of your plan or the amount of contacts. Cleaned means after X amount of attempts to send an email, it has bounced too many times, whether it went to spam, whether they unsubscribed or blocked you. And then those do not count towards your contact number. And again, you don't need to write any of this down. We are going to send these slides out to you. I know it's a lot of information. And I know people are writing in the chat. If there are questions, feel free to yell them out to me. Yes, Matt, they are being recorded and we will email all of these. Hey, oh my God, Matt. Hey, so good to see you here. Cool. All right, we're going to keep going. You can send up to 10,000 emails a month with a daily send limit of 2,000. A send is the number of email campaigns you send. So each individual email, for instance, one campaign sent to 2,000 contacts is 2,000 sends, not one, even though it's like one email you're sending. It's counted by the number of contacts, which I know is intuitive, but when you start overthinking Mailchimp, you start thinking of all these questions, and I've done this myself. So I just thought I would go ahead and clarify that for anyone before they even had the thought. And then you can send test emails to yourself. Those do count towards your 10,000 limit. You can have one audience. So that is your list of all of your contacts, which I will talk about when we open Mailchimp on my computer. You have one seat with owner permission. So that just means your login. If you have a paid account, you could have a couple different seats. So like I could have a login to it. Sheila Huggins could log into my account and have a different login. But even at the NCDP, we have a paid account and we only use one seat. I think it's actually a best practice to only use one seat. That way everyone has that one login and you can see what other people are sending. I think for accountability, it's never a bad thing for people to be able to see the emails you're sending or receiving or anything like that. So that's what we recommend. There's a limited selection of basic, featured, and themed pre-made email templates. There's the option to have the abandoned cart email. So if any of you guys have ever been shopping online and you put something in your cart and you don't buy it right then, but then an hour later you get an email that says, hey, you forgot something in your cart. That's what this is. If you ever needed to do that, it's an option if you had a store. Most of you probably won't use that. You can have an automated welcome email that you can set up. And there's basic reporting of analytics, meaning how many people opened your email, how many people clicked on the inside of the email on a link, did it bounce for anyone? And then you can look at that email and see, oh, did I put a comma instead of a period for, .com? Is that why it bounced or something like that? So these are just some of the free features that I wanted to cover for you all. Okay, let me look and see if there's any questions in the chat before I open up Mailchimp. How much is the paid account? I believe it's $10 or $20 a month. So, it's not pocket change, but it's not as much as NGP. So if it was something where you were a larger county or a larger precinct and you had the funds to do that, I recommend it. However, I think everyone could get away with just the free account. And one thing about Mailchimp is they actually have a really great, they have really great articles and like a help section. I know a lot of platforms don't. You search a question and you get no responses and it's not helpful. When I was first starting the Mailchimp trainings, I actually read a couple just to see what are some main things that I need to make sure I'm highlighting for the people attending my training. And they were extremely helpful and even walked me through a couple things I didn't know about. So I recommend if you have a question, you can always email me, but definitely search their site or even YouTube videos. There's so many YouTube videos where people walk you through how to do things. How do you know which emails bounced? It will tell you in your report which ones bounced, and then you can see them. All right. Oop. Okay. So if you need to make a Mailchimp account, you'll just Google Mailchimp.com, create an account. That's very easy. I'm not going to set that part up with you. But as soon as you log in, this is the dashboard. This is what it looks like. You might have different ads, paid ads down here or something, but this left-hand side is the menu for you. This is where you're going to navigate everything. First, I'm going to show you audiences. So this is all of your contacts. And this is just a Mailchimp account that I have made for training. So it shows that I have 5 contacts, but that is fine. There's a couple different ways to view your contacts. Over here on the left-hand side, you could click on all contacts, or over here, you could click view contacts. They don't take you to different pages. They are the same. And then here you can see Julia Buckner has an email called Donald Trump Loves Me, where she gets Donald Trump's emails just to keep up to date. So that's the one that we used. If you ever need to add a contact, you could click that over here and add a subscriber. So you could type it in. I always just do email address, first name, last name. You don't need to do all of these other things unless you want to. And then the last thing is you have to click, this person gave me permission to email them. And then I always click, if this person is already in my audience, update their profile. I do that because I have a lot of people request to sign up, and maybe, you know, it's Wake Dem's chair at whatever.com. And I want to have the most up-to-date name for the chair if they provided me with that. So that's why I usually click to update the audience. But if I'm sure there's a one-off chance where if you didn't want to do that, that is okay. That is not a mandatory thing, but it will not upload them if you don't say you have permission to email them. Okay. The other way to add a contact is to import them. So we are going to talk about what a CSV file is. So after this, we would say continue to upload a CSV. Okay, let me upload Excel. Can you guys see this screen? The Excel, okay. So you can see that the 3 main columns I did were email address, first name, and last name.
Ali, we haven't got your Excel. We've still got your Mailchimp screen.
Oh, okay. Let me share the right screen.
Green bar, yeah.
I don't know why that happened. One sec.
We all do that sometimes in Zoom.
I could see your Mailchimp. Oh.
Can you see my Excel doc now?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you guys. Okay. Yeah, always holler out at me if you can't see something. Okay, so the minimum thing you would have to have in a CSV, which a CSV is just when we are done with this Excel document, we are going to go to File, Save As, which I'll walk through this with you guys again, but then you just save it as a CSV, comma, delimited. That's how you say it.
What does CSV stand for?
Comma delimited.
I don't know.
Comma separated values.
Yep, comma separated values.
Perfect.
Say that again.
Comma separated values.
Okay, thank you.
It can be separated by all sorts of other things than commas, but that's
that is good to know. So that's how you would save it, so that it's in the correct format to upload to Mailchimp. If you uploaded an Excel doc, it would not work. But the main thing is you need to have an email file. I always have a first name and a last name. And then you could even do, home address, phone number, precinct number. You can upload more things, but we are not going to worry about those for today. Another thing I wanted to show you is you want to fill out as much information as possible. However, I wanted to show you what happens if, for instance, Lillian, who is the digital director, if I didn't have an email for her, because we all inherit, email lists, which might be in an Excel doc, or, just a list of contacts. And if they don't have an email, that is okay. Mailchimp will skip this line. It will not then move, Julia Buckner's email up to Lillian. So it's okay. You don't need to go through and delete them all. That is totally fine. I just wanted to make that point for everyone. Also, if you only had someone's first name or last name, that is totally fine. That will still upload. Basically, if there's no email, it will just skip that entire row and not mess up the rest of your document. So additionally, if you had NCDP, .org, it would skip that. It would know that that is not a real email address, and it would just skip that line. So basically, we are going to save this, and I already have most of these uploaded from the previous email, but we are going to go through the steps again.
So can we upload or import from Vote Builder?
You'll need to export all of those emails into an Excel doc, save it as a CSV, and then upload it. Yes.
Okay.
That would be the best way to do that.
If you have the permissions, you can go to bulk, I forgot what it's called, bulk something or other in Vote Builder, and you can export as an Excel file, but not everybody has permissions to do that. Depends on your access.
And if you don't have permissions, talk to your county chair and see if you could get them, or see if they can export it for you. Like legally, they are allowed to give you all of that, but I know some county chairs prefer not to for whatever reason. So I would just talk to them.
If
Okay.
it's in Vote Builder, Ally, does that mean we have permission to use their email address?
Vote
Great.
Builder,
Okay.
yes. Or it might have to be like in my campaigns or something. I'm not as knowledgeable on the specific nitty gritty of that, but yes,
Okay.
you do have permission if it's in Vote Builder. You also have permission if it is in Mobilize, because people have like given you permission to
Right.
continue emailing with them and they have signed up with you. Yeah.
You can export from either side of Vote Builder, and you may
Okay.
have, there may be a separate set of emails in each side just because of the way the My Campaign and My Voter is set up. So if you want them all, you may need to export from both halves.
Yeah, and if you, Pam, if you ever needed help with that, our data team is amazing. I don't know if you have Emily's email, but Emily would be the person that you would talk to.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to upload contacts. You could drag it and drop it, or you can go to the file. And then you can see I saved this as a CSV. If you also had the Excel version saved, that would show up like right beneath it. So you would have both versions right here, but I only have the CSV. So I'm gonna open this. Sometimes when I try to upload something that I've already uploaded once, it tells me an error. So we'll see if it does that. If it does, that's the only reason I promise it will work for you all. So let's see, here we go. All right, so now they want us to organize our contacts. We are saying that all of these are subscribed because we have permission to do all of this. And then I'm gonna update any existing contacts. You do not have to do that. Now we're gonna continue to tag. So at the NCDP level, we can have more than one audience because we have a paid account. So I have one specific audience for the content package I send on Wednesdays. I have one specific audience for Meredith's weekly wrap up that goes on Friday. We have an SEC audience in case we need to email everyone in the SEC. It's just a way to segment things. However, with a free account, you do not have that option. So the best way to segment your audience so that you can send emails to only certain people and not have to, type each one out every time is to create tags when you're uploading these people. So, for this one, I would call them training. Now, everyone who attended my training, if I wanted to email you guys everything from today, I could search the training tags and only email you. People can have more than one tag. You could have a training tag, but you could be precinct 1 also. You could have several different things. That way you can target specific people. And I'll show you guys what that looks like in a minute as well. So let's pretend I'm done tagging. And also if you want to do tagging retroactively, you could skip this for now and you can tag at any point in the future. Okay. So what this does is it makes you, doesn't usually show this for me, interesting. You are going to match the columns to the columns of the CSV file. So it found email address, and that's correct. But for this one, it didn't recognize first name. So what you'll do, you'll select here, first name. You'll confirm, now that one's ready to go. For this one, you will select last name. If this was address or city, that's what you would choose. But we're going to choose last name for this, confirm, and then that's fine. Those were deleted. We're going to finalize the import, and it tells you 3 columns will be imported and 3 will not be imported, but that's fine because those were the empty ones that I deleted, but might have had some lingering information in them. So we are going to click finalize import. Complete import. And then you can look at your contacts. Here they are. And if you can look over here, they have the tags. And if you had more tags, they would show up there. You can see they're all subscribed. Admin add just means you added them manually and not in a CSV file, but I don't really think you ever need to know that. And that's not as important. Okay, cool. So that is an audience. Does anyone have questions about how to upload it from here? It's also something that once you practice it, you'll get a feel for it. And if you're still having issues, always reach out to me. It's something you kind of have to sort of see in real time. the next thing I want to cover are campaigns. So you can see here are all of the emails that I've just like, these are all drafts because I've just done these for trainings and never actually like hit send. But what you can do, a campaign is just, this is where all of your emails are sent. So let's pretend this training email was a fundraising email and y'all wanted to send another fundraising email. What I would do is do the drop-down menu, hit replicate. And now all of the formatting from the last email will be the same for this one. You just have to go in and edit the information. So we have a campaign that is the same for fundraising. And then we just edit the info when that is relevant. We have a campaign for the weekly content package. And then I upload the edit, I edit the information that week. That way it is the same each week and doesn't look crazy or look different or anything like that. However, if you wanted all of your fundraising emails or event emails to also be the same format, that's totally fine. That is up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I just wanted to show you that replicating option because I think that is extremely useful. And now we're going to look at email templates. So if you were over an audience, you go to campaigns and then email templates. This brings you here. We are going to create a template. And you can see all of these pre-made themes. Once you start scrolling down and hovering, some of them you might have to pay to use, but they have so many free options. And these are just the pre-made themes. If you wanted just a plain layout, for instance, just something like this, like one column that already has a couple text box and you could drop an image in here, you could, just select these. But for the sake of today, because I think themes are really helpful. They already have colors that work together usually and stuff like that. We're going to do that and then select event. Let's pretend we're sending an event email. Cool. So this is what it looks like on the left-hand side. If you scroll down, you can see that they just have text in place and all of this, and everything is clickable. If you click on something, these are called, God, what do they call these? Blocks. Each one of these is a block. That's just the term that Mailchimp uses. All of them are editable. And then let's say you wanted a button under here for people to click. Over on the right-hand side, you would literally drag, drop. Now there's a button there. So it's very user-friendly once people kind of show you how to do it. From there, let's say you didn't want to edit it yet. Okay, we're out of it. We're like, oh, it shouldn't say buy now. It should say get more info. Click on it. You can see that it updates in real time on the left-hand side. When you click on something on the left, you edit on the right. Get more info. It's a web address, but if it was an email address or if it was a file that you wanted to be able to click and download, that would be what you do here. But for a web address, there's that. And then let's say we wanted it to link to, I don't know, store.ncdp.org. Let's say this is get merch. And then that would take you there. And when people clicked on this in their email, they would all be redirected to merch. So you have several options. You could change the color. Here you could add in all of the text that you wanted for your event. You could make it all bold, all underlined. Don't do that. That's terrible. But I'm showing you, you can do it. You can make it all red. Over here, they have little options like pre-made little things. And then if we were like, oh, we don't need this button, just delete it. All you have to do. You could replace this image with, so here, every image you have uploaded in the past would now appear here. So you only have to upload your logo one time and it will be saved on Mailchimp for you to just select in the future. So let's go here. We're
Allie?
Yes.
So we have a question from the chat from Ms. Deborah Ford. How do I
Okay.
make a clickable calendar?
Let me see, what did they do? Oh, do you mean like on your website more so than in this email?
In the Mailchimp for different events, how do I put a clickable calendar? Like for the whole month of June, there's different events going on.
That is actually something that we have struggled with. There's not a great way. If you need help, our Deputy Digital Director, Kayla, made a calendar on the NCDP website because one thing people don't like about, for instance, Mobilize is that there's not just a calendar function where you can look at everything at a monthly glance, excuse me, which is more user-friendly. And we have funneled that up to Mobilize, and they have said that they are working on it. They've been getting a lot of requests for that now that a lot of things are digital. In response to within Mailchimp, I don't know if you can, if I'm being quite honest. I don't think you can just, this right here that they made, these are just text blocks. So like that is a text box with a white background with a 27. This is just a text box with September. So we could, make it kind of look like that's a calendar with a date and then put a button underneath for people to click, but it's not going to be like a monthly calendar look at a glance. But if I find something different, I will email you. But for now, I don't think it has that availability, unfortunately. I would just add links for people to sign up on Mobilize with the date listed.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we go here and we wanted to, replace this photo, I'm going to go to upload on my computer. And what are we going to do? We are going to do okay, let's pretend Jamie Harrison was coming. That would be really cool. Oh, this also might take a hot minute to upload with my internet right now. So maybe we aren't going to wait for this. But that's all that you would do. You would click save, and then it would appear here. It is, oh, here we go.
Good.
And then it tells me, that it might be too large in size, and it tells you what the right specs would be, 800 to 1200 pixels. I know that this is 1200. But they might prefer 800. Within Mailchimp, you can always do the smaller specs, and it will appear at high resolution. Okay, so let's pretend this email was completely ready to go. Oh, one thing earlier, I forget. I don't know if she's on here. Oh wait, no, I think it was it Deborah? I don't know.
It was me.
Yes, Deborah, if you were in here, let's say you copied and pasted something from a Google Doc, because that's what I do every Wednesday when I send the content package. Everything shows up bold. And if you select all of the items and click bold, it does not unbold it. What you have to do if you're copying and pasting it in, there's like coding formatting that you can't see, and it's not just bolded, it's coded. All you have to do is hit clear styles, and it goes completely back to normal. So if it's ever just being super weird, you've copied and pasted the information and you can't get it to reformat, click clear styles, and then you can bold or not bold, and it will start working. So one other little pro tip right there.
Thank you.
All right, so let's pretend we are ready. Where is my thing? Save and exit. Okay. Oh. Cool. So now we have this. And if you wanted to send it, this is where we would do it. If you are ready to send an email, you can see that here it auto defaults to like all of your recipients, all of your audience being in there. But if you wanted to edit them, you could choose based off of tag, because this is how you're going to want to segment it down. That way you're not typing in each person you are trying to email with that email. So that is why tagging and really staying up to date on that will be very beneficial for people with free accounts. So you would do that. You would update the subject line. This has an X because it still has placeholder text. Normally it would look fine. You can also send a test email. So this is where I email myself. Sometimes I also email Lillian, my digital director, to give it a look. It'll come to your email. You can check all the links and make sure they're clickable, that you don't have any typos, that the formatting didn't look just good in the preview and then get messed up, or you can make sure it looks good on a mobile device. Also, Mailchimp does make things also mobile friendly, but you always want to double check, especially if you have buttons. This is technology. It should usually work, but I would always just double check, because the one time you don't check is when it'll send something crazy. And then if we were ready to go, you would click send, and then it would say, are you sure you're ready to send? And you'd say yes, and then it would send. You could also schedule your emails out, which is a great function. We are sometimes hesitant to do that because stuff changes so often, especially from a comms perspective. But if it's something like an event invite that no matter what goes on in the world, you want that to send on Tuesday at 5, and if there's a new press release, it's not going to affect it, you can go ahead and schedule it for when you have time to make your life easier. I think that's a great option. So that's what you would do there. Yeah, I think, does anyone have any questions about that? I know that's a lot. I fully recognize that. Is anyone absolutely completely lost and like gonna cry? I one time had a lady cry and I felt really bad. Yeah, but she was just overwhelmed. I was really nice to her, I swear. But as long as none of y'all are crying, like, you're doing great. So let's keep going.
Allie, I did want to know how you untag or change a tag if you've got a tag set for party officers and you have an election. How do you undo that?
Okay, so let's go to our audience. I've actually never done this, but we will do this together. So let's say, might have to go to, we're gonna click on Julia Buckner's. Oh, add or remove tags.
Got it.
And then you could say she's not cool. And then she's now no longer cool. And now she's only training. So that's what you would do there. And then if I wanted to say, the digital team was really cool, I could add it. I could also say, yeah, they also hate Trump. So yeah, you can add stuff. It is pretty user friendly.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. I didn't even think to show that to you guys. All right.
Allie, can I ask you a question? When I was asking you earlier about Facebook, when I send out my email blast, it goes to Facebook and Gmail and Twitter. Not Gmail, I'm sorry, Instagram. How can I make changes to that? I have the admin for those, but how can I make changes if something was sent and the picture didn't fit or something like that?
Yeah. So are you thinking you don't want them to post to those platforms? I want to see what your question is.
I do want them to post, but sometimes it doesn't look the same as the newsletter. Like I was telling you that question that and it has where someone, the previous third vice chair, had did the last one for April. It's still showing the convention under the I.
Oh, okay. So we need to change the URL name for that, which I think I might have to show you offline. I think you and I might have to, I'll have to look into that. I know that it can happen. And Kate, our comms director, has done that several times. But basically you have integrations, which this is where you would integrate your Mailchimp to different, social media. And when so for instance, actually, I need to do the same thing. When I post my content package, I think the URL says something about President Biden every single time. And I've always wondered if anyone notices that and if it is distracting. You can change it. Do you have my email from the last session?
I do.
Okay, let's talk about that I'm off on Monday. Well, you can still email me. I'll be checking my email, but we will figure that out this week because I actually need to do the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know the answer right this second, but we will figure that out.
Allie, could you possibly put that in with some of your other mailings to the rest of us too, about how to do that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if I forget to email, well, I won't forget. I will ask, I'm going to make a note of this right now. I will ask Julia Buckner to do a follow-up email with that for you all. So we're going to talk about changing the URL for Mailchimp on social. All right. And I know we're getting close to the end. We are allowed to go a few minutes over. I think I have people in the waiting room for the next section, but I wanted to just finish up with this, that utilize your Mailchimp trainings and articles on their website. I know I said that, but they really answer a lot of questions. And I am going to drop a couple things in the chat right now. If y'all have questions, feel free to holler them out at me while I multitask and drop links in the chat to you guys to save.
I had one, Ali, and I think you it came up on a screen you were using a minute ago. The person who manages our Mailchimp has got a tenuous grasp of it, but I manage our vote builder. I'm trying to match the two things up. So I can get out of, or she can get out of Mailchimp a list of all of the people that are in there, right? I think I just saw an export somewhere.
Yes.
Doing.
Yep. When you're in your audience, you can export it, I believe, also as a CSV.
Okay.
Yep.
So I can then match that up with what we got in Vote Builder. But of course, we won't know who the people are. We'll only know their names and their email addresses. We won't actually know who they really are.
It would be nice if anyone was on Vote Builder and that just also went into your Mailchimp, but you know, it's not a perfect world. Okay, I am dropping my email in the chat.
Oh, my other question was, what happens? People can unsubscribe, right? There's an unsubscribe line in the message they get. And does that automatically take them out of your audience?
If they unsubscribe, what did this slide say? If they unsubscribe, that still counts as a contact. It won't send to them, but it will count towards your list. So you should monitor. I would say maybe once a month is a really good practice to go through and just to clean your contacts. But I would really only worry about it if you're getting, for instance, like close to your 2000 max.
So you would remove, you delete from your contact list, the unsubscribe.
Yeah, and it will give you a warning. You know, if you do this, you can't add them back again. But if they've unsubscribed, I mean, chances are they don't want to be added back again. So I always just click OK.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, and then I think it's ncdp.org/support. This I'm going to drop in the chat. If you want to sign up for, okay, actually, let me back up. I'm going to say these like two things, and then I will let you all go because I know you have other meetings to go to. I recommend signing up for the weekly content package, which I send on Wednesdays if you have not already. It comes with graphics, social media, talking points, captions, everything you would need. Some weeks, you know, I'm only sending like 3 graphics. Some weeks I'm sending 15 within it. So you should always have content to post. But twofold on that is I'm making a content package to be distributed on social to get, you know, messaging across North Carolina to Democrats. And while I'm making it and sending it to you all, if you all are not posting it or then forwarding it onto your email list, it's really, you know, not important and not effective. So I'm going to drop in here. If you go to ncdp.org/support, which I'm going to drop in here. And then click on digital. You can request to receive the weekly content package. That will automatically send me an email. Or you could request a graphic for online engagement. So if you need a graphic for anything, we offer, you know, 2 to 3 graphics a month per county, per district, per auxiliary group or caucus. So you could request that here, and then I will follow up with questions if I have any for you all. But and if you need help, for instance, with Mailchimp, do a request for, you know, graphics or online engagement, and I could help you. We could set up a time to really get set up. But I kind of, just wanted to end on that point that I feel like we've had a lot of trainings today about messaging and digital tools, and that's great. But if you don't know how to distribute it, it's not going to get very far. So we just ask that you all forward this to your precinct chairs or have them sign up for this as well. That would be a little bit less work on you all so that you don't have to forward the email every week. But yeah, I think that's it. I know y'all have stuff to go to, but thank you for coming. I'm sure you still have questions. Please email me, or we can set up another Mailchimp training to go over even higher level stuff like how to set up a sign up form, or very specific things that y'all might need help with.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.